Pain is one of the most profound and transformative experiences a person can endure. It is relentless, often unfair, and at times it feels like an unbearable weight crushing the spirit. When you're suffering, it's easy to believe that pain is meaningless, that it exists only to make life harder, to wear you down, or to break you. But what if your pain is not just random suffering? What if instead it is carving out something within you that you cannot yet see? What if your pain has a purpose, one so significant that in hindsight you will see it as the very thing that shaped you into the person you were meant to become? Pain is not simply an unfortunate byproduct of life, it is an architect, a sculptor that chisels away at who you were to reveal who you are capable of becoming. Throughout history, those who have endured immense suffering often emerge with an unparalleled depth of wisdom, resilience, and purpose. Pain is the pressure that turns coal into diamonds, the fire that tempers steel. It forces you to confront your limits, your weaknesses, your fears, and in doing so, it refines you into someone stronger, sharper, and more self-aware. One of the greatest misunderstandings about pain is the belief that it is purely destructive. Yes, pain can destroy, but it also creates. It can break you down, but only to rebuild you into something far greater than before. When life is comfortable and easy, there is little reason to change, little reason to push beyond what is familiar. It is only when you are forced into discomfort, when you are made to face hardship, that you are given the opportunity to grow. Pain is the catalyst that propels you forward, even when you don't understand why. This is why suffering is often the birthplace of transformation. Some of the most remarkable people, those who possess an almost unshakable depth of wisdom and strength, have endured tremendous pain. The struggles they faced forced them to develop resilience, to think differently, to see the world in ways that others could not. Consider someone who has faced devastating losses, failures, betrayals, or hardships. Those who use their pain as fuel often become leaders, artists, healers, and visionaries. Why? Because pain strips away the superficial, the unnecessary, and leaves behind something raw, something real. Often, the very thing that causes you the most suffering is pointing you toward the exact path you are meant to walk, even if you cannot yet see where it leads. Think about it. Why does pain strike in such personal, specific ways? Why does it target the things that matter most to you? Why does it seem to test you in the areas where you are most vulnerable? This is not random. Pain, when looked at from a higher perspective, is a force of redirection. It is life's way of pushing you towards something greater, something you might never have pursued had you remained comfortable. Many people discover their true calling, their life's work, only after experiencing profound suffering. A doctor who dedicates his life to curing a disease because he lost a loved one to it. A musician who writes soul-touching songs because they endured heartbreaks. A leader who rises to fight injustice because they once suffered under it. Their pain became their mission. Their suffering gave them direction. This is why pain is not simply something to be endured, it is something to be understood. If you are experiencing deep pain, ask yourself, what is this trying to show me? Not in a superficial way, but in a way that forces you to examine what is truly happening beneath the surface. Is it breaking you because you need to rebuild yourself? Is it pushing you away from something that was never meant for you? Is it forcing you to see a truth you were too afraid to acknowledge? Pain only has purpose if you allow it to. You can either let suffering consume you, making you bitter, resentful, and lost, or you can use it as a tool, as a teacher. Every moment of pain carries a lesson, an insight, an opportunity to evolve. The question is whether you are willing to recognize it. Pain forces you to look inward, to confront parts of yourself that you would rather ignore. It exposes your fears, your insecurities, and the wounds you never truly healed. But in doing so, it gives you a chance to face them head-on. It demands that you either succumb to it or rise above it. And rising above it does not mean pretending it doesn't exist. It means acknowledging it, understanding it, and using it to fuel your growth. Pain is brutal, and sometimes it feels impossible to bear. But when you step back and look at the larger picture, you begin to see how every hardship you've endured has shaped you in ways that ease and comfort never could. The heartbreak, the failures, the moments of deep despair, they have all contributed to who you are. They have given you wisdom, perspective, and strength that cannot be taught, only earned. Think about the moments in your life that have changed you the most. Were they moments of comfort? Or were they moments where you were pushed beyond what you thought you could handle? Growth is never found in ease. It is found in struggle. And the deeper the struggle, the greater the transformation. Pain has a unique way of awakening empathy. When you have suffered, you understand suffering in others. You become more compassionate, more understanding, more capable of helping others, because you have walked through the fire yourself. This is why those who have been through the most pain often become the most powerful healers, mentors, and guides for others. Their suffering was not meaningless. It was a preparation. There is something to be said about the way pain transforms your relationship with time. When you are in deep suffering, it feels endless. But when you look back on past pain, you see it with new eyes. What once felt unbearable now appears as a turning point, a lesson, or even a blessing in disguise. This is proof that pain is often a teacher whose lessons can only be understood in retrospect. And what about the moments after pain? The moments when, after enduring so much, you finally emerge. That first breath of fresh air after suffocating in darkness. That moment when you realize you are still standing. That is something pain gives you that nothing else can. The unshakable understanding that you can survive, that you are a lot stronger than you could have ever believed. Your pain is not just shaping you, it is guiding you, preparing you, and awakening you. It is leading you to something, and one day you will see it for what it truly was. The fire that refined you, the force that directed you, and the proof that you were always meant for something greater. And then there is the raw truth. Pain reveals who you truly are. It strips away the masks, the pretenses, the illusions, and forces you to see yourself clearly. It shows you what you are capable of enduring, what truly matters to you, and what you are willing to fight for. When everything is taken from you, when you are at your lowest, that is when you see yourself most clearly. And sometimes, that clarity is the thing you needed to find your true path. If you are experiencing deep pain right now, know this. It is shaping you. It may not make sense yet. It may feel unbearable. But the person you are becoming through this pain is someone far greater than the person you were before. The suffering you are enduring now is not without purpose. It is part of your transformation, part of the path that is leading you to something greater. It's important to recognize that pain does not last forever. Just as wounds heal, just as storms pass, your suffering will not define you forever. But what you do with it will. You can either let it consume you, or you can let it forge you into something powerful and unstoppable. Every great story, every great achievement, every profound insight was born from struggle. The people who change the world, who inspire others, who create meaning, have all faced immense pain. And instead of letting it break them, they let it build them. Your pain has a purpose. It is not random. It is not meaningless. It is your teacher, your guide, your forge. And one day you will look back and see that every moment of suffering was leading you somewhere. Somewhere you were always meant to be. Good luck.